Not really sure. That's just kind of what I settled on.
Yeah, I'll have to say Big didn't have the greatest performance yesterday in their final game. But I honestly believe that Big does have potential of shutting this one down 2-0. I'll say you bring up a pretty good point with Overpass being the first map of the series. It's a map we've only seen Big play 3 times in the past 3 months, and they only won 1 of those. So obviously not a massive map for Big, but I do see potential of Big shutting this one down 2-0.
Yeah, always possible for sure. And I mean, starting off here on the T side of Overpass, they've gone ahead and just rushed straight towards B. Where at the moment, the Movistar Riders have decided to actually just play for the retake. They have 4 players around connector and mid right now. They had actually got aggressive early on, hoping to maybe catch that aggression. If not, it does at least give them the chance to go for this quick rotation down, get the short control, maybe try and battle towards Monster as well. Just have a few different angles to try and make that retake happen from a flash, a kit. That's what they have in terms of utility. But look at this, Tizian had been left all the way back in spawn, and they did not expect that. In the meantime, Tabson and Sirison also beginning the frag. Alex pulls one back for Movistar Riders, but not before he gets dinked down to just 1 HP. So Lowell is going to have to get a lot done now, as he's the last man left standing. The kit's being dropped, the bomb's already taken away, and there's not much that he can do about this. Finds 1 more frag at least, but obviously not going to amount to anything else. He does end up going down to the bomb, as does the final player for Big. So no one survives. Not a big deal on the pistol round. The biggest thing being, well, that Big get the pistol.
I see what you did there.
I didn't mean to do it. It happens by accident, man.
I think I did it like 16 times yesterday. It was awful. Cringe to say the least, but it's just how it goes. Big is a word that we use for to describe a lot of things. Especially the performance from their opponents yesterday, because Big did go down to the lower bracket, which is why we see them in the matchup against Movistar Riders. Did take a nice victory in their first matchup yesterday, but obviously going down for the second round of the matches yesterday. Now they need to come up massive for this one, up against Movistar Riders. Keto does trade back Serson as well. Decent amount of damage dealt early on here from Movistar Riders though. Lowell, Alex, and Mopus trying to hold on to the hopes and dreams of securing a round of Force by victory. A lot of damage dealt towards Serson. He goes down to roughly 30. Lowell, that's a good kill on Titian. Santaris does answer back eventually. 2 on 2. Definitely still potential here for Movistar Riders, and regardless, this is way too close for Big's liking. Big slowly but surely backing off. They still got plenty of time to work with. A lot of time left on the clock. Actually, going for the reload there, it gave off the sound cue for the player who pushed up on short and might have called out their bluff.
Okay, Alex is going to begin to fall back a little bit, play a little bit more passive. Obviously, of course, at this point, having that player pushed up on short at least gives the control for Mopos. He'll know if they start planting that bomb towards B. So, separating for the moment. They have a defuse kit. They have that 1 rifle, obviously. Mopos actually going to head around towards Monster, and with that, could have a chance to go ahead and get the flank here for himself. Indeed, as soon as that smoke goes down, he knows that it is going to be the commitment onto the B-bomb site, and now the bomb obviously being planted too. Santaris, though, ready to check Monster, gets the timing perfectly. Mopos falls, and Alex now with a CZ. He has Kevlar as well. I was gonna say, if he can't get a quick kill, he may consider saving, but he finds Sirison in the pit. Now it's all onto Xantares up close left on the side of Monster there. But it is a good spot to just hold for this push that's coming forward. You can see indeed holding a head height. The second Alex steps around the corner, Xantares is ready to hit that headshot as always. But a very close round. Big aren't going to be too happy about the fact that they did lose 4 players there, but obviously into this one now, we do likely just see the full eco from Movistar Riders. They can't afford to really upgrade too much apart from maybe a couple pistols.
Yeah, it's just that way too close for Big's liking. Obviously, on these 4 spy rounds, you want to try and maintain or keep as many players alive as possible. Now, in this eco, it should be fairly easy pickings here for Big. That being said, we do have a bit of a stack from Movistar Riders. That is always interesting, especially with a couple of upgraded pistols here. P250 on most of the players. Steel, he's posted up with the Desert Eagle. This definitely does give Movistar Riders potential to deal some damage in this round as well. But in the meantime, Big Just rushing over towards the B bomb side, and we'll be able to get the bomb plant as well. Should still see Movistar Riders just working together as a unit and stay as close as possible to make sure that even if one kill goes in the favor of Big Clan, that Movistar Riders can still answer back with a frag potentially. This is a bit interesting here from Keto. Okay, he finds the first, gets the second as well. No problem for Keto. Well-placed headshots on the SMG. Gonna give him a bit extra money to work with as they move forward. As I said, important for them to get a fairly clean round here. And it is indeed a clean round. Santaris and Sersen with a frag each. Sersen even finds the final one on towards that lower, I believe. And that is gonna be
it just because the round ended.
Yeah. Yeah, that is gonna be big, picking up the anti-eco. And a clean one as well, not losing a single player. Farming a bit of money on the SMGs. We see Sersen already on 7,000. That's pretty good.
Yeah, good start definitely here for them on the T side, and gives them the opportunity to have some security if they are to lose this opening gun round, to be able to buy back in and continue challenging early on without having to actually go for an eco. And of course, this is the opening gun round now for Movistar Riders. They have the op for E-Star, they have the rifles. Aids wise, it is kind of lacking, and they also don't have a defuse kit, so it ends up coming down to a retake. That could be a little bit of an issue. But for now, Big Clan not really going for anything too insane, just taking a slow, looking to try and get themselves that map control. They've been able to get up close into B water here. They do realize, of course, the door being blown off, I believe it was, towards connector means they do have to be a little bit more cautious of this area. I was gonna say not a bad start for them, just being able to find this map control, but Alex, he spams true, did see a little bit more, as well as he jumped up for the peak and actually finds Tizian, who steps right back into the spam just as it begins. It seemed like the player in the background being Tabson may have been the next victim if that spam was to come in again, but for now he lives to continue fighting for his team. The only thing is they're down into a 3-on-5. This is going to be very difficult to recover.
Very good double spray down there from Alex through the plywood onto the soft side on the back side of B. Awkward jump. It's a good kill from Keto though, trying to bring this one back. Does find the frag on Steel, shut him down. E-Star still sitting up towards the A bomb side. That's a good frag from him, trying to catch the one out towards the long position as well. Sersen posted up though with an AWP of his own. He catches the frag, gets the return. Alex in a good position, and the timer is running low. There's no more time to work with here for Sersen. He's forced to fall back, does manage to get another trade before he falls back. It will be Movistar Riders picking up the first gun round. Again, a fairly close round. Except for the last round, the pistol was incredibly close. The force buy from Movistar Riders was incredibly close. This one fairly close as well. If that's any indication of what we got in store for us for this matchup, you might be right in the 3-mapper.
Yeah, and with that up actually been saved over for Cirrus, and everyone else having enough to buy up pretty much apart from Keto, who had to go for the kill. Unfortunately, they actually spot that boost all the way back towards the spawn. You don't often see people expecting that one, but the head just about being spotted above the wall. Sersen survives, but he's been dinked down to 22, and also with that, it instantly makes Movistar Riders realize that, of course, they couldn't have really taken any control up to this point, so Steel actually gets quite aggressive. Issue is, he is alone, only as a UMP. Once he takes the fight as well, if he's not able to come out on top of all the kills, he is likely going to go down before he can escape, of course, and unfortunately doesn't even manage to get one frag. Goes straight down, and Big, despite not getting the opening from that boost in the end, they still will manage to get themselves up into the 5-on-4.
5-on-4 situation again. Big getting the opening frag for this round, but Mopus does answer back. A good frag onto Santaris, drops him out. Santaris was the only aggressor close towards the B bombs, close towards the long position. It's Alex though. Only one, he's one and done. Quickly traded out Easter. He pushes forward through the smoke and catches a double. Very important stuff. The bomb gets dropped out towards long as well. That means it's only gonna be on Titian. I guess it's getting a bit late here. Losing the ability to speak. Titian slowly but surely moving closer towards the bomb site, but he doesn't check the corner. Lowell posted up in a good position over by Optimus, eventually shuts him down. Movistar Riders stringing a couple of rounds together. And now that means that the economy from Big Clan is a bit worrisome.
Yeah, pretty much to be expected though. They've lost the last 2 rounds in a row. The previous one they had to kind of scrape the buy together with what they had actually saved being the op, and then kind of just pull out what they could, thanks to actually having a little bit of money saved up. But finally the ego were forced out of them. You expect now this to be a fairly easy round, and indeed the flash was bitten and a nade to follow it up alongside the initial peak has already gone ahead and done quite a bit of damage down to the 2-man advantage, and it'll allow for it to be finished out. I was gonna say without any casualties, but unfortunately Steel runs out of ammo. Took a while as well for some help to come in, so Easter still up close on mid, holding that USP instead, gets the quick 1-tap. Nice try at least, Saracen throwing the flash over, seeing if maybe he could blind someone up, get a second kill perhaps off the back of it, considering Big had so little investment. If they could get a second kill, it would have been quite worthwhile. But now it's 3-3, the buy comes back in again. They do have the off for Saracen. And this is where Big want to start trying to get more rounds onto the board here on the T side. Don't let Movistar Riders start actually building up that economy either, because it's, as I said, it was a pretty clean round there in the previous, but overall, you pointed out, the rounds have been super close.
That is sort of the silver lining here for Big, that even though they're using all their money to invest into this one, which obviously means that they don't have a lot of money if they don't get a clean round out of it. Do see a bit of money from Movistar Riders, but not a ton either, even though they've gotten 3 rounds in a row. Yeah, back and forth to start off with here. Typically a map that's considered to be fairly CT-sided. Obviously, that means that Big, they're going to be looking at hoping for 6+ rounds here on the T side. If they can get that, I think they'll be more than happy with it. Obviously, anything more than that is just icing on the cake. Movistar Riders, I think a bare minimum for them to be happy with it is like 9 rounds on the board.
Yeah, you would say on the CT side. I was going to point out that Big early on, although they had gone for the default, they didn't really claim any map control off of it, just because they were being cautious, obviously, of that aggression around mid from Movistar Riders. So without really much coming of it, they do eventually just begin to back off, group up over towards Monster, and it's going to be a straight up B hit. Movistar Riders, they should have a decent idea. There's 2 players already here. There's one up in heaven as well. There's a quick flank that can come down from Connector, and I was gonna say, let's see how it goes. Unfortunately, Tabson and Tizian are just opening up the bomb site with ease. Tabson actually finds himself 3, doesn't take any damage at all, and leaves it all now onto Lowell. As I pointed out, there was one player trying to flank down through Connector. Lowell just left on short on his own now, in behind the sandbags. He's being checked as well. He has no idea. And Santar is just like, oh, hey,
that was
quick 1-tap.
Yeah, that was a bit comical there. Santaris just sneaking up, not even taking like the shot super early. Obviously, he can see the sort of like the knee of his opponent before he can see anything else when you're crouched down. Still just creeping by to shoot him in the face.
Big are really loving this B bomb site. Definitely where they're favoring towards. Again, splitting up in the beginning of the round, but putting most of that presence outside of Monster. Having just one player to hold off that connector rotate, make sure no one can get down into B water. And of course, also one player then holding for that bit aggression. But Movistar Riders, they don't really try and actually aggress further in connector. Instead, they go for a little boost up on the steps. It gives them the vision into that the little window in connector, and allows for them to actually take a great advantage. Eastar are going to be able to find one on mid with the op as well. Unfortunately, Saracen, coming in from the playground, is able to return it, but it's still, of course, the 1-man advantage from Movistar Riders, so they can kind of slow things down a little bit now. They don't have to keep this aggression up.
Good start to the round for Movistar Riders, though, and they are on sort of their last straw in terms of economy. Used all their money to buy up into this round, so if Big picks up this one, could be trouble in paradise for Movistar Riders. Haven't really reached paradise yet on their train there. Flight, maybe.
I don't know, I feel like if there was paradise, you wouldn't have to take public transport. But right now, big in towards B. Okay, as I said, this is definitely where they've been favoring, mostly late in the round, of course. And right now, they've traded it again successfully down to the 2 versus 2. Unfortunately, Sirison trying to take the fight there towards the spawn. Seeing if he could cross back over and retrieve the bomb, which at the moment is dropped in towards short. That's what has really made things difficult here. There's only 10 seconds left now for Tizzy, and he has to deal with the player on Monster as well as in the CT spawn. It's impossible at this point, even if he wanted to try and just stick the bomb plant to steal it, have an instant kill. He does realize that, gets the up for himself, backs off towards short, and with Movistar Riders themselves not really having too much money, they're not going to try and hunt them down, so he is at least able to save it over. And with that, can drop a weapon to Tizzy, and he's the only one that's actually lacking.
Yeah, not the greatest amount of money here on Titian, but as you said, Sirson could potentially drop for him. Sirson can still buy himself Kevlar, even head armor, actually. Bit of a timeout getting called here by Movistar Riders as well. Enough money for Big Clan to reinvest into the round. We do see Sirson dropping a weapon over. Santeros with plenty of money as well. Actually getting a lot of utility here. Big. Again, a round that they pretty much need, but it's already pretty good here for Big. 4 rounds on the board this early on the T side is not bad at all.
Nah, I mean, a decent foundation. If they can get another 2 or 3 rounds off the back of it, that is then a good T set that they can certainly be happy with. And again, Big actually going for this boost back into spawn. The previous time it didn't really get to do much because they were spotted. This time around, Alex not really wanting to peek out of heaven as well, just in case early on in the round. And Big realizing they can't really afford to spend too much more time working with it. Instead, drop down, start reverting off into a normal round. And it does seem like they're going to put a lot of focus around mid. Player and connector, 1 left to hold for any B aggression. Their focus likely going to be to get towards the bathrooms right now as that smoke goes down. Molotov as well towards the steps, so no ops can be holding the angle aggressively. With that, they should be able to move forward fairly easily. Movistar Riders have pulled the 3rd player up towards A at the moment, though.
Better stack, better aggression up towards the A bomb site here from Movistar Riders than we haven't actually seen a lot of aggression from them down towards the B bomb site, at least in their buy rounds. And it is fairly untraditional to go for aggression down towards the B bomb site. But I feel like whenever I see it in these matchups, it seems to be working out alright. So I'd love to see some aggression over on short B from Movistar Riders in one of these rounds. For now, they have a pretty good setup up towards the A-bomb side, especially considering that Big Clan are setting up with a couple of players in this position. The timing is absolutely brilliant here. The flashbang, the teamwork is there. Tapson gets taken down. Santeros is going to be pushing forward. The flash actually hits him, and that gives away a bit of a sound cue. He needs to be careful because there's a player very close by. Santeros finds the first, quickly traded out. User takes care of 1, but Alex on the bomb side. And the bomb gets dropped. That's the time they're running low. Steel shuts down the final player, Quito. He falls. 3 players staying alive here for Movistar Riders. And now they can finally start to potentially rack up some money. Because it is going to be a very limited round here for Big Clan. They don't really have a ton of money to work with for this one. Do have Titian sitting on roughly 4,000, but other than him, the rest of them are very limited.
Yeah, just forced to take that eco. It's not too big of a deal, as you said. Already being on 4 is not the worst spot for Big to be in. It's not where they want to end it, but it is a decent beginning for them for sure. And that previous round there, great hold by Alex. If he had went down with it without being able to get that kill onto the player on short, and maybe even the second one, then they could have been in a bit of trouble. So right now, playing it relatively safe. As I said it though, I do notice that one player was beginning to aggress up through A long right there. It was Steel going forward. He realized it's probably not the greatest idea. I think he did spot a few players and drops the nade in. But as he tries to take the peek over towards short, he does pay the price. Tizzy in with a quick 1 dig. Manages to weaken this A defense, and now it's Easter on the op that's going to have to try and hold it on his own. He's doing a good job so far though, playing around the sign, peeking back and forth from both areas, trying to make it a little bit unpredictable, but he didn't himself expect that boost of course over the smoke. And with that now tagged down a tiny bit. He's just wasting so much time though, that's the issue. Big taking too much time to be actually able to deal with him. Now there's 3 players on A, and there's also a quick flank that's beginning to come through the spawn.
Good first frag there from Titian. But a 3-on-4 situation, and obviously mostly an eco here for Big Clan. With the bomb drop now out towards the long position, find 2 players on short. They're probably gonna get shut down immediately, and indeed they will. Lowell with a double kill for the round, Easter with a double on the AWP. And Movistar Riders with their 6th round on the board, and as I said, they're starting to rack up some money here. With that round being fairly clean, just losing 1 player. Big Clan finally with enough money to buy up again, but it's gonna be certain with the glass cannon AWP. Means he doesn't have any Kevlar behind the AWP. Also means that he can potentially take a bit of aim punch if any shots are fired towards him, is what I'm trying to say.
The big issue in the op as well is that limited early on, because you can't really face off against those nades, but obviously the rifles can do so. tabseN just runs straight through that playground smoke right there. That's a nice counter, I guess, to the attempt by Movistar Riders to take the control.
Just straight up rushing through a smoke. I mean, it doesn't always work, but when it does, it looks absolutely incredible. Good stuff here from Big Clan. It's tabseN with a massive double. Easter and Steel getting shut down immediately. Three-on-5 situation. Movistar, 2 players up towards the A-bomb side. That's a good call. They still have 1 player down towards B. That's Mopus with that SMG. Does look like Big want to try and push in towards the A-bomb side though. So Mopus, seeing as he's on an SMG, he's probably not going to try to save it. He's probably instead going to try and go for very early rotation, but now actually his teammates getting caught sort of in limbo. They try to rotate back closer towards the B bomb site. They hear the nades and flashes, shots going in towards the A bomb site, and realizing one of us should definitely stick by. Lowell more than likely just gonna try and hold on to the weapon here. Mopus could set up for a potential exit frag. Again, he's on an SMG. Not a weapon that you typically, like, strive to hold on to. Instead, if he can get an exit frag, he can get himself a bit of extra money. Potentially find a weapon to pick up as well. For now, he is just going to try and help out Lowell hold on to the M4 instead. But a very clean round thus far for Big.
Yeah, that's something they need. I was going to say, if he doesn't get a kill, though, I guess he can just give it over to Steel, who, of course, only has 150 in the bank, so he is going to need a weapon. I'm sure he wouldn't complain too much if it is the MP9, just so they can save a little bit of money elsewhere. Because overall, they are going to have a pretty strong investment with those weapons being saved. And indeed, he's looking to see if he can upgrade, hoping the bomb maybe would have blown something down a bit closer to him. Unfortunately, it didn't. So the MP9, we'll see what he decides to do with it in the end. I mean, if they wanted, they could still drop a rifle over from Lowell as well, so it's not like they have to keep the MP9. Mopos could have upgraded, or he can just keep it for himself, which does seem to be the option that he goes for in the end. So overall, really, that is the main weakness in terms of the weapons. They have plenty of utility. They have the op, of course, for Easter. But Big now, they're on 5, and if they do manage to win out this round, at that point, Movistar going into the next, they're going to be looking at a full eco. I mean, Big, they would be able to get themselves into the lead here on the T side, so that's not really something that they can allow to happen at this point.
Real quick, I do want to point out, I'm not sure if chat is trolling or not, but this is not the British Alex. I've seen that in the chat since we started this game. This is a different Alex. Trolling. I hope so.
You can't take Twitch seriously ever. Oh, hang on. Easter got an opening kill. Sirison clearly tried to refrag it, but Keto must have stepped in front of it. I did not catch it from his perspective as we were on Easter, but I mean, right now that may have cost Big the round. Either way, Easter himself having picked up 2, but it certainly makes it a little bit easier, leaving it in the 4-on-2 at this point, which is Xantares and Sirison to try and recover. And I mean, if you could have any 2 players from Big, you definitely don't complain about Xantares and Sirison. Maybe you'd want tabseN still alive by how well he's been playing. But let's see. I mean, they can definitely still fight into this round. Easter is very low on health, but he still hits the shot on Sirison.
Wow. Easter, massive triple. As you said, incredibly low on HP. Xantares, not a whole lot to do for this one. Good timing on the peak here from Alex as well. Alex finding the final frag for the round. 4 players staying alive for Movistar Riders, and obviously a bit of a mishap there from Big Clan. Very unfortunate for Serson to accidentally shoot his teammate in the back of his face. 7-5, and Big Clan actually calling for a technical timeout. Hopefully it's nothing major. But yeah, back to square one. Big Clan not with a lot of money remaining. They do have enough for a full buy in this round. They'll actually have a decent amount of utility behind them, at least on 3 of the players. Tapson just getting a smoke here towards the end of... Well, I was about to say towards the end of freeze time, but obviously sitting on a technical, he has plenty of time to buy it. But yeah, 7-5. Decent start here for Movistar Riders. We gotta remember this map was chosen by Movistar Riders, which makes absolutely perfect sense. They've played it 12 times in the past 3 months. They have a whopping 75% win rate on it. Which is really good.
Yeah, it's I mean, if Movistar can come out with 10 rounds here, especially on their CT side, they're going to be looking spectacular. Just close this one out, as pointed out. Of course, being their map choice, that is what you would be able to hope of them. But Big, they can still try and grind out 1 or even 2 more rounds, potentially more here on the T side. It's not like Movistar Riders have built up any economy. They're back down to 0 loss bonus, so if they do lose this round, they only get 1,400 going into the next meeting. Of course, they wouldn't have enough to buy. So there is a chance still for Big with the economy being so fragile. And right now, again, going back to favor and over towards B. They managed to creep a couple players forward. Easter finds one of them, but unfortunately not expecting Sirison to already be up so close as well on the op. So he falls, so does the bomb site. As the bomb will get planted now on the 4-on-4. There was actually a 3-man stack over towards Graffiti. The Molotov, though, really stopped them from being able to even try anything.
Beautiful. Fast aggression from Big over towards the B bomb site. 3 players over here by Graffiti. Tishan has a pretty good idea about it. Good reaction to Mopers pushing out. Still 2 players in that same position. Still 1 player trying to get out of heaven. These 2 players, they need to get out of dodge quickly because the bomb is ticking down. They don't want to get caught too close to it and potentially die. They will be able to hold on to their weapons. 1 player dying from Big after the timer, or after the bomb explodes. 6th round on the board now for Big, and as I said, 6 is sort of the sweet spot here for Big. I think they're more than happy with 6. If they can get any more than that, as I said, would just be icing on the cake. That would just be a bonus for them. But 6 is sort of the bare minimum to feel happy about it, in my opinion. Movistar Riders, now the pressure is on them to make sure this remainder of this half doesn't run away from them.
That's the thing. Apologies, I was going to say if they give up any more, then Movistar Riders really are in trouble. Despite this being their map choice, it's just looking so good for Big, especially Sirison. Walks onto B, finds 3 shots in a row, and will eventually go down to Easter, who is back in Graffiti, but he's only able to get a single frag himself before he is returned on. Keto, he ensures that the bomb site indeed is going to be taken over by Big, after Sirison was the one that done most of the work. Steel left with no opportunities really in the retake, so beginning to back off to try and save. The thing is, I don't think Xanthars is going to allow it. He's already coming in from A long, and there's no way he expects this.
Oh, Keto on that flank does manage to secure the frag on Steel, but Serson, massive entries towards the B bomb site. What I was trying to say at the start of the round there was that Big, you mentioned it a couple of rounds ago, they've seemed to favor the B bomb site, and it makes sense. They've had the most success on their aggression towards that B bomb site, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's certainly working out alright here for Big. Obviously getting helped out pretty massively by Serson on those entries. This is troublesome here from Movistar Riders. They are going to be very limited in terms of their weaponry for this round, and it is the final round for the first half. Good possibility for Big Clan to make it 8 in their favor. We do have the Desert Eagles, and if there's something that's been through the entire close qualifier, both for the European region and the CIS, which I was also covering, so that you can never count a team out if they got Desert Eagles. That one-shot potential is definitely something to be worried about. Scout and play for Easter as well, and we know how accurate he can be on these snipers. Alex, the only one with a primary weapon, or preferred weapon, if you will. Not a ton of utility remaining here for Movistar. They do have a couple of smokes remaining, though. Steel is going to use one of them out towards the long position, just to delay the aggression a bit further.
Yeah, I don't think he quite got fortunate enough with the timing of that jump to spot the players, but as you said, good timing with the smoke going down either way. And now it is Alex actually getting aggressive through connector. He's already gone ahead and got himself up behind the ladder. Oh my god, Xanthars turns around at the perfect time. His crosshair is just immediately on the head of Alex as he comes up the stairs. Gonna be able to get himself a second as well on E-Star. As the scout that you were mentioning, the accuracy unfortunately is not enough when you're being overwhelmed. And Big Clan, they do indeed just sweep up that 8th round in their favor after having a little bit of a rough start overall. They're able to come straight back into it on the T side and actually manage to win out the half now with a round lead. Movistar Riders, with this being their map pick, you do expect the T side to be strong for them, but with how big it's been playing with the individual level we've seen from the likes of so far Xanthars and Searson as well, especially Habson. I mean, it's the three players you would expect and you'd hope to step up on Big Clan. They all have been.
It's a good point, well made. Honestly, as mentioned earlier, I did say I believe Big can take a fairly convincing 2-0 victory. That being said, Movistar Riders, they've played good Counter-Strike to start off with here on Overpass. I'm looking forward to see how this second round, or second half, excuse me, turns out. Now, with it being Movistar Riders' map choice, I feel like if they have any chance of bringing this one to a map 3, it is going to be taking the victory here on Overpass.
Yeah, I don't disagree. As always, guys, I think you do actually have your marker up now on the screen, don't you? A massive half-time right in the middle of it. Potentially, I'm not sure if you've done it again,
yeah,
but if you haven't, anyway, yeah, the half-time, just so people don't get a little bit confused. A few minutes, and then we get back into it with the second pistol, of course, going live. And obviously, with it being such a close half, especially here for Movistar Riders having lost out their CT side, they do need to pick up this pistol so that they can get off to a good start, get some confidence going, and with that, try not to let their own map pick here slip away. Obviously, the winner of this best of 3 moves on to the European minor.
Yeah, a lot on the line, and it's in the lower bracket, so the loser is out of the running. They have no chance of joining up in the major circuit. So yeah, a lot on the line for both of these lineups. Obviously, both of them, well, all of the teams competing. I mean, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. They want to qualify for the minor. They want to make it through to potentially the major circuit. Get that sticker moolah. More than that, I think it's for the players themselves. Probably more about the prestige.
Oh yeah, I mean, with the amount of time that these players and teams just put into the game in general, you obviously want to make it to the major. It would kind of be a sign of hard work paying off. And I don't think there's ever really much denying about the amount of work that these teams do actually put into the game. I know I couldn't do it as a player. Not only am I not good enough, but it's just the amount of dedication that it actually takes to just grind in the game out constantly.
To be fair, if there's anything you're passionate about, I don't find it super difficult to do it like many hours of the day. Obviously, it's like not a true comparison, but for you and I, yesterday we were casting 12 hours straight, and we loved every second of it. And these players, when they're playing 12 hours a day, I believe that they're loving every second of it.
Playing 12 hours a day, I don't know. That would be too draining. I think that would be too much on players. Thankfully, that's not normally the case in these qualifiers, although we do have 12 hours of coverage. It is multiple teams. But yeah, we have gone ahead and actually kicked off the second half. So for now, we can, of course, focus back on the matchup. And As I pointed out, Movistar Riders, this is a very important pistol round, and they're going to have a pretty similar approach to what we've seen from Big Plan, just rush straight over towards B if video utility is being thrown down. But Big Plan, they have defenders here to actually try and put in a defense on this B bomb site, and so far I was going to say not doing a terrible job. Unfortunately, the trades do begin to swing back in favor of Movistar Riders, leaving just Sirison now. The bomb, of course, yet to be planted, meaning he does have some time to work with, but outnumbered 3-1, and unfortunately not connecting the shots as he gets the chance on towards Alex. Meaning he will go down 8-8. The score is tied up, and we should see Movistar Riders claiming the lead, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we have the force here from Big, and with already the scout being pulled out from Sirison, it looks like that's what we will see.
False spike coming up, and if Big decides to go for a bit of a stack towards either of the bomb sites, and they get that gamble right, there's definitely a chance they can bring this back. Even if they don't, there's always a chance. We've seen so many false spy victories in this qualifier thus far. Alex, he's got to get the opening frag though. Sirison gets taken down. That forces Keto to fall back slightly towards the A bomb site. Do have a bit of utility in the hands of Big as well. Do have a lot of smokes. Obviously got to try and see if they can use them to hold off any aggression when it comes their way. Haven't really used their smokes yet. We see a bit of a rotation here from Tapson, actually. Already rotating back closer towards the A-bomb site. That's going to be a 3-1 setup, favoring the A-bomb site here for Big Clan. Smoke from Tapson used down towards the B-bomb site to help out Tishian. As you can see in the minimap, Movistar Riders are lining up for what seems to be an execute towards the A-bomb site. Setting up for the smokes and utility usage in towards the A-bomb site. Do have a couple of players close by, namely Santara sitting in the corner out by toilets. But look at this from Alex through the smoke, catching one. He almost got the double for that one. Steal. Getting the bomb down. Santara's got one for the round, but quickly found out and taken down. Tishian now last man standing.
Yeah, not much he can do. Obviously just trying to save. If he could steal away a weapon, it would be nice, but I don't think Movistar Riders really want to hunt too aggressively. Maybe they could send out one of the SMGs, but even then they don't have too much to gain from it. So yeah, not really trying to send any of their players out. Ideally surviving with all four here. Of course, with it being a close scoreline, you do want to try and build up some money on this D side. Not have to take any ecos, because once you do have to take an eco, that's when the CTs really get the opportunity to start stacking up the money, and at that point it gets that bit extra difficult when the CTs really don't have to worry as much about using the about saving the utility, because they do have enough.
Nine to 8. Movistar back in the lead, and Big Clan on an eco for this one. Over nade. Could have done a bit more damage. Big Clan decided to hold back for a little bit longer. Had they gone for the aggression there, we're probably taking a lot more damage than they actually ended up taking. Easter is just watching for the aggression towards the middle. We do have a player down towards connector as well. That's a Lowell, just patiently waiting for aggression coming his way. Does get spotted out here. Lowell needs to be careful about taking the repeat. He decides to go for it. And actually finds a nice little double before he's forced to fall back. Steel with a double of his own. Very ballsy move here from Steel as well. Even though he's very low on HP, he's still going for the repeat and still finding the second frag. 10-8. Clean round for Movistar Riders as well. That means that they can work on that economy, and it's already pretty good.
Yeah, I did like the idea there from Big Clan, though, not having a lot. They had that one flash ready with a player on B, ready to throw it over short. If they had have found some success in towards connector, because then they could have popped out the door, maybe caught a couple players in water off guard at that point, maybe snatch up a few weapons and suddenly have a chance to win the round. And considering they didn't invest a lot, wasn't too bad. But now they come back onto the guns, of course, and at this point you don't really want to let Movistar Riders to keep building up this lead. It's getting a little bit awkward, and unfortunately it's really not a perfect buy from the CTs either. No kits available, nades already, quite a few of them being used because of the pressure that Movistar Riders have put on both, at least on the B-bomb site early on. It does seem like they may want to end it over here eventually as well, just having that one player back towards connector to ensure no one can flank them down through the connector area, of course. Everyone else, though, focused towards B.
Could see a repeat of what we saw in the first half. Santaris getting close. Does deal a tiny amount of damage, but nothing massive. They're now going to be setting up for the double boost peak. It's actually a triple boost. What is going on? I don't think I've ever seen a triple boost from that position, and there's the reason. You show so much of your body, and getting out of harm's way if you get spotted out is very, very difficult.
Yeah, sadly didn't work for Keo, though. It chose a little bit of an inopportune time, I would say, to start running there. If he kept walking, maybe he could have caught that first player, and at that point perhaps even backed away and tried to keep the 5-on-3, but still a 4-on-3 at this point, favoring Big Clan, of course. They see that there is at least a couple players trying to push up through short. Xantares deals with the first of them after Searson was able to get the initial tag. He's now posted up on long, where you do see Lowell popping into the crosshair. That's a shot that he's not going to miss. And Easter falls to, allowing for Big to bring it up to 9. So they pull one back here on the CT side. They do so by keeping 4 players alive as well, which is needed. Now they can drop a weapon over to Keto, maybe keep a bit of money in the reserve as well, but not much. So when you look at the economy of Movistar Riders, allowing for them to buy back in again, there's still the opportunity, of course, for them here on the T side to just immediately knock Big back down onto the eco and just continue building up that lead. Obviously, it does go the other way too. Movistar Riders spending all of their money into this round. And it looks like it's just going to be a straight up B rush.
It's a very important round there for Big Clan. Movistar Riders, an important round ahead of them for this one. Tishin, he catches the first, taps him with one as well, getting the double. Oh no, Lowell and Easter answering back immediately after. Lowell takes a good chunk of damage in the process. He's down to just 10 HP. Still switching over to the SG-553. The bomb has been dropped on the bomb site, but look at the positioning here from Keto and Searson. Both of them out towards the short B positioning. Bomb eventually going to get planted by Easter. Good frag from Searson. It's going to be all on Easter, but if there's anyone that can do it, it's probably him. He's got the AWP, and we know how incredibly strong he is with it. Know how incredibly quick he is on his flicks. Finds the first onto Keto, looking for the second as well. He knows he's out towards short. Easter, brilliant triple for the round and a clutch in the 1-on-2 with an AWP. 11-9.
Just a good recovery overall from Movistar Riders. It looked pretty difficult as they were coming out a monster. At first, they were able to find the initial trades. The player from Barrel then being a little bit of a nuisance, getting a double, I believe it was. But a great clutch from Easter, picking up a triple, and he's certainly been a standout player for Movistar Riders so far. Unfortunately, Mopos, I think it is having a little bit of a tough game down there at 4-14. Tizian not playing the greatest for Big either with 6-10, so it's kind of equal enough on the scoreboards. Just really Easter then who is standing out, of course, over on the Movistar side, and then also Searson. So the two oppers have been absolutely spectacular, as you would kind of expect on a map like Overpass as well. But obviously Movistar Riders beginning to run away with that lead a little bit. They should be getting themselves up to 12. It's just a half buy at the moment from Big. Getting what they can, it'll give them the chance to keep doing the damage and keep the pressure on the economy of Movistar Riders, which is still extremely low. But most likely this should be Movistar Riders' round. But I hate saying that, because every time I say it, it seems like the Pistols end up finding the upset.
I was wondering if you're just trying to put a caster's curse on Movistar Riders at this point.
No, just because you do want the rifles obviously up against the Pistols. It's a round they should be winning. There's always a chance, and especially with that scout having peeked into mid early and not spotted anyone at all moving forward, I think they do have an idea that it's likely going to be towards B. Unfortunately, holding those nades, they weren't watching for the initial short push. Tizian and Tabson, though, going to be able to combine with one each. The flash is going down as well to try and delay this monster push as much as possible. And it's the smokes also making it very difficult for them to see any of these players on the CT side, giving some time for them to retrieve those weapons that they dropped. And for now, it is the 4-on-3 favoring Big.
Pretty good defensive smoke there, and a nice peek up from Heaven. Without going down, Searson gets the information that they're still close by. means that Keto can now rotate back towards the A-bomb site and help out Sersen potentially up in heaven. 4-on-3 situation here, but Sersen and Tapson have both taken a lot of damage. It's going to be up to Tishian and Keto to try and bring this one back in the favor of Big Clan, or further in the favor of Big Clan perhaps. Movistar Riders still with a bit of utility are going to set up for the potential execute in towards this A-bomb, or B-bomb side, excuse me, but Sersen still answering back. Beautiful headshot onto Easter. Nice shots coming through from Alex as well, answering back himself, lines them up for the double spray down. Alex with a quad kill. That was a 1-on-4 clutch.
All right. Absolutely insane. I thought that was big, stealing away the round, and no, Alex takes it back, saves it for them, and I mean, it keeps them, of course, into this round where now they're going to have a little bit of a weaker buy overall due to only living with the one player, but at least they do get to keep fighting. They get themselves the 12th round. They stop Big from coming back to a very close score, which would have been 11-10, of course, at that point. But this is the full buy. It could be one of the last full buys for Big as well if they are not able to make it work. And I think they realize that's why the pause comes in. They're having a bit of a chat. Because if they don't pick this round up, Overpass, it could be slipping away from them. Again, worth noting for anyone who may have just recently joined us, this is the map choice of Movistar Riders, so not the end of the world for Big. They would have Mirage coming up next as their own choice then, and if needed, Inferno as the decider.
Yeah, we touched base on it earlier. Movistar Riders, they desperately need this map, I would say. Second map is probably not going to be an easy one for Movistar Riders. Quite the contrary, I believe.
There's been so many clutches from Movistar Riders as well. Easter and now Alex as well. It's been those important rounds, really, that has allowed for them now to start actually building this lead up. And I think Big, they might be hitting themselves a little bit about that.
They should, honestly. That clutch there from Alex. A few mistakes from Big Clan in that one. Lining up, obviously, doesn't help them out. Tishian, a bit of a mistake here, not watching the angle. Instead, watching an angle that his teammate was already covering. Tapson does answer back. Santeris and Sersen as well. Santeris, excuse me, still close towards this B-bomb side. Alex finally shutting him down. But he needs another massive clutch. He needs the triple kill in this one to clutch it out. Secure another round on the board for Movistar Riders. He spots his opponent up towards the high ground. Sersen inches way forward. Through the smoke he goes. Connects onto Alex. Finally shutting him down, saying, no more clutches for you. It's my time to shine. Sersen catching a double for the rounds. And Terrace as well. Big Clan finally back on the board. Hitting double digits. Still, the money is not great here for Movistar Riders. Obviously, that thanks to only one player surviving in the previous round. That was Alex clutching out massively. That means that Movistar Riders are going to be a bit limited for this one. Giving Big Clan a decent opportunity to potentially bring this one back. But it's the next gun round that's the all-important one.
Yeah, the next round, of course, being the main focus. If they can, though, Movistar Riders would like to maybe drop 1 or 2 players here, but only having Glocks, I mean, it's not a great chance. Maybe if they overwhelm the op, it's a possibility, but already the nade has quite a bit of damage, and of course, Keto is nearby to help out as well. He does eventually go down, though. A decent kill there being found by Alex. Not the biggest of deals for Big, but considering Movistar Riders had no investment at all, at least they can be like, all right, we got a kill. At least we didn't put anything into that round. Now we're back on the guns. We still have the 1-round lead. Let's get back into winning ways before we give away that lead to Big. And that would be the hope for them for sure. Unfortunately, they don't have the op to work with, and that has been a massive factor for them so far in the hands of Easter. And of course, Saracen, he has one to use.
(12-11). Fairly important round here. Again, I think I've said that more or less every round, because every round have been very important for both of the teams. But obviously, going down the wire, fairly late into the game now. It is a map Movistar Riders need to take the victory on. Keto. This is a good position. Finds the first. Not a great amount of trigger discipline in that one, but probably for the better. He does take care of one. Cerson with one of his own. Takes a lot of damage in the process, down to just 10 HP. In the meantime, the rest of Movistar Riders, well, two of them at the very least, setting up for the aggression in towards the B bomb site. Missed opportunity here for Lowell. Gonna try and find it the second time around, but will he Mopers to find a double as he swings back around towards the short position. Cerson still answering back though with that AWP. 2 on 2. Bomb getting planted over towards the B bomb site once again. Much like Big Clan, Movistar Riders favoring the B bomb site, at least at this point. Cerson inching his way forward. He does have help from Santaris right behind him. Smoke on sidewalk allows him to push a little bit further. What a shot from Cerson. Great reaction onto Lowell. Mopus pushing up. He finds the first, gets the second as well. Mopus with a quad kill now. Another clutch coming through from Movistar Riders. As you pointed out, Dean, Movistar Riders, they just seem to be winning pretty much every single clutch that's presented to them.
Yeah, I mean, that was a ridiculous shot there by Saracen to get the player up close. Monster. He was low himself, so he needed that instant op shot. Got it to the head just to be sure as well, but unfortunately just didn't realize that the final player was playing around that smoke on the back of the bomb site. Santaris went down, and then, of course, Saracen on the bomb being completely defenseless, couldn't do anything about it. So Movistar, they keep the lead. They're able to increase it here for themselves as well, and there's 3 players for Big who cannot afford to full buy. Keto maybe could scrape out an M4 and body armor, but it's still not really worthwhile. It looks like they are willing to maybe just take 1 eco and then try and fight back from the 14-11 deficit. But as I say that, no, they are going to go for the buy. Not the worst investment you'll ever see. Obviously, if they do win this out, then they keep themselves in a really good position. But if they lose it, then the next round, they probably will just have to take that eco and at that point try and play for the overtime. So it's high risk, high reward right now. But they do have a double op setup. That's a bit of a change.
Double op, excuse me, is quite interesting here from Big. Cerson, he's been incredibly strong on his AWP. Tapson is now going to be wielding the secondary. Cerson still alive out towards the long position. Tapson does get taken down. Keto, beautiful stuff here on the double, and it's now going to be all on Easter trying to bring this one back. Does find the first, again needs the clutch to make this happen, but not gonna happen this time around. Keto with the triple for the round. Oh, I'm getting flustered at this point. I'm getting sweaty.
I still don't really know who's going to take this map, and that's kind of how I expected this game to go. I did think that it could be a very, very close one, and that's how it's been so far. 12-13, they just keep going back and forth. Neither of these teams really able to keep control or keep the momentum for very long before the other is able to step back in and show that again they are still fighting for that victory. And right now, Movistar Riders, they buy what they can. It's a couple SMGs, mostly pistols then. And it looks like they are, as always, just going to favor run over towards B. This has been the preferable bomb site for both of these teams on the D side. Right now, it's actually not going as bad as it could for Movistar Riders. They were able to find pretty successful trades initially, and with Lowell also dropping Tabson, they have brought themselves right back into this round, at least enough to get the bomb plant. Although, as I say that, Easter just taps the bomb. They want to see if they can push forward and see about finding another frag potentially, and with that, even go up towards A if they realize that, of course, CT is clear, which it is. Quick rotate from Saracen, though, realizing that this is a possibility. Actually going towards long. I don't think they'll expect that.
Yeah, Saracen in this position could secure the victory in this round here for Big Clan. He does find the first on Lowell. Easter, though, still alive with his AWP. I'll try for a different approach, and actually still just going to be pushing up towards the A bomb site. Definitely the right decision for him. Does get the bomb plant. It's planted for CT though, and he's going for a bit of aggression out towards long position. Cerson missing his opportunity. Easter dealing a good amount of damage on towards Cerson. Keto posted up. Spots out Easter. Won't be able to take him down just yet. Easter still trying to find the angle. Beautiful shot onto Certain. He finds the double as well. Another clutch for Movistar Riders. Are you kidding me?
Oh lord, that's been like 4 clutches now for them, and the fact that it's still so close is just upsetting for Big Clan. These little mistakes, these little rounds that they're allowing to fall away from them is likely going to cost them Overpass right now, because you see they do have 2 players on a double eco. Of course, they cannot afford to go for that. Maybe they could eco once and scrape together a buy in the next round, or of course they could force buy here if they wanted to, but either way, they're in a tough spot. I mean, if they were to force, obviously they'd be on a similar investment then in the next round for sure. If they do take the 1 eco, they're giving this one away, and then they're trying to play for the overtime. Haven't taken the pause. They had a bit of a discussion, and it does seem like in the end they actually are going to go ahead and buy up into this. Just pistols, Kevlar, a few nades. It's actually a very tough round. Actually,
Movistar Riders calling for a tactical timeout there.
Oh, was it?
I had, like, in the past, I had a bit of a chat with Hunden about that. And he said to me that, at least for them, back when I spoke to him about it, they like to take tactical timeouts after clutches, just to sort of calm down the adrenaline, give them a bit of a chance to get a breather, because it is very intense to clutch out a situation, especially when it's this late into a game. Steel gonna be inching his way forward. That's a good kill onto Certain. Yeah, as you said, Big Clan deciding to go for the buy round here is quite interesting. It also means that they have to fight for OT if they lose this one. Keto and Santaris do manage to find 1 each. Brings it back to roughly equal grounds, but obviously still better equipment in the favor of Movistar Riders. Don't have anyone directly on the A-bomb side. We do have one close by. It's going to be Titian over towards the bank area, and Santaris, he's going for the rotation close towards the A-bomb side as well. On the flank, it's going to be Tapson with the SMG. He's out towards the long position now. He's found out. Mopus shuts him down. Going to be all on Santaris and Titian with these Desert Eagles to try and see if they can bring this one back. But Easter taking care of Titian seems to make it very difficult for them. Santaris does find 1, but he's 1 and done. Quickly traded out by Mopus. 15-12, Movistar Riders. 1 round away from shutting it down here on their own map choice.
And as I said, now it's just a similar buy to that previous round for Big to try it again. A little bit better. I mean, they have the scout on towards theirs, then MP9, then for Xanthers. Similar amount of nades. No defuse get either if the bomb does get planted. And it's looking like Movistar Riders, they should be able to take this map for themselves. And with that, of course, take themselves a 1-0 lead. This is the choice of Movistar Riders, so not too surprising. Inferno then, Mirage then coming up next is a map that I think should be another very close one, just because it is strong for both of these teams. And if we do make it to Inferno, again, one that I do expect to be exciting. But look at this. Right now, I actually didn't catch this. My autodirector is apparently not working for me. Keto walked out mid and got 2 1-deagles for 2 1-deags for himself. Unfortunately, we are on different perspectives. Hopefully, you guys did catch that one. But 5-on-3, he's happy enough to fall back. Doesn't get himself a weapon, but gets a good position, at least for Big Clan to be in right now.
With the first couple of frags going in the favor of Keto, that definitely helps out. Good decision here from Easter to just make sure that these weapons gets thrown out of bounds. Decides to play with the SG. I know that some people like to call the SG an automatic AWP, so makes good sense that he chose that one over the AK. Especially seeing as he is the primary sniper for Movistar Riders. Keto still posted up with the Desert Eagle. Finds yet another. That's a triple now. He is going to be looking for even more. That's a quad kill. Keto almost getting the ace, but not quite. Mopus finally shutting him down, but the damage has been done. It's a 1-on-5 situation turned into a 1-on-4 here. It's Mopus left against the world. Keto. Quad kill with a Desert Eagle. The timer runs low. That's 13 now for Big Clan. They're not done yet.
Yeah, keeping themselves right in this one. Not actually going to be able to hunt down Mopos, who does manage to save his Krieg over on long, but even with that, there's not going to be a lot coming into this round now for Movistar Riders. Steel is looking at a double eco. The rest of them can maybe force out a small bit, which it looks like they will because of the fact that Mopos obviously got no loss bonus either. So they buy what they can. It's not great. It's a little bit better than to purchase that big hat